Hello and welcome to Against the Grain. This is episode 6, I believe.
Yes, episode 6, yes.
And today we'll be talking about how Daniel would have written Transformers.
Yeah, the fifth Transformers film.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. If you're going to talk about the fifth Transformers film, just talk about how you would actually have done just a full series.
Well, unfortunately, that isn't what I'm going to do, though. So it's just. But what I would have done if I directed one of them was I would have tried to fix, like a sinking ship, basically. Don't know how it would really work, but I think we've all had movies where we're just I could have written that better, and the Transformers franchise is unfortunately one of those things. It should have been a really simple series to write.
Yeah.
However, though, before I get started, how I would have written the fifth movie we got was Transformers: The Last Night. Did you ever see it?
No, and I don't want to see it. I've heard some really bad things about it. The things I've heard about it is the way it's edited. It's edited in a way where it's 6 different trailers all put together.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like one of those movies where the plot kind of the villains keep jumping in and out of the movie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One moment Megatron's the villain, then the humans are kind of the villains, and then the Quintesson is kind of the villain, and then Megatron's the villain again, then Unicron's the villain, and then the Quintesson's the villain again, and it just keep. And Unicron doesn't even get a fucking line in it, so
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Because but basically, the plot that they chose for that movie as the sequel to Age of Extinction turns out the reason the Transformers keep coming to Earth is because it turns out back in medieval times King Arthur was real, Merlin was real. And the staff of Merlin was actually a Cybertronian artifact. And it turns out half of the Knights of the Round Table were actually Transformers. So it turns out the reason they keep coming to Earth is for the staff of Merlin. Which I'm calling bullshit on, because it's then why has this not been mentioned until now,
Yeah.
In the first movie, it's we came for the Allspark. Then the second one, it was we came for the Matrix. Then the third one, it's we came for the Space Bridge. Then the fourth was we came for the Seed. And then all of a sudden it's no. The whole reason we came here was for this fucking staff, which we've never mentioned up till now. And I guess it kind of suggests Optimus was one of these knights.
For fuck's sake.
And it also suggests that the Transformers have been fighting on Earth since those times. So Bumblebee fought in the Second World War. And that makes no sense if you've seen the first movie, which implies 2007 is when they land on Earth. So that movie basically just completely destroys any sense of continuity they'd had up to that point. The last night of the title is Cade Yeager, which is Mark Wahlberg's character. So it's not even a Transformer who's the title character this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he has this talisman, which turns out, I think, to be Excalibur.
Yeah, that's what I kind of got when I saw the trailer, where you see him kind of deflect one of the Knights of the Round Table's swords.
Yeah.
And I was
talisman,
it
protects him, and it creates armor around of his arm, and it turns into a sword at the end. So I just was so it's Excalibur then. And Optimus kind of becomes evil for a while, because the Quintesson, who's called Quintessa, which I'll get into that in a minute, why that's fucking stupid, but she's brainwashed him or whatever, and so but then he has this big fight with Bumblebee, which I will give Michael Bay this, okay? That entire fight scene was shot amazingly, okay? It is the best he has done with the Transformers in terms of fight scenes, because he actually uses good angles and all that.
Yeah.
He's not trying to do all the weird close-ups and all that to try and be oh, look how big they are. No. He pulls the camera quite far back.
Yeah.
And so you get you actually see quite a bit of the fight, but unfortunately has that stupid editing where it keeps cutting away to Mark Wahlberg falling down something. It's no, go back to the giant robot fight.
Yeah.
I know it seems like I've skipped over like 2 hours of what actually happens in this movie, but like there really isn't much to talk about.
Yeah, we'll get to the like kind of the main plot points of the film. So what are the rules to this?
Okay, well, so basically the version they made was a clusterfuck, entertaining for the last 20 minutes, but a clusterfuck never the same. Mm-hmm. So here's the rules for if I made Transformers 5. What we're going to do here is, this is Age of Extinction has just come out, okay?
Right.
It's made a bunch of money at the box office, and they're already talking about, right, we need to make Transformers 5. For whatever reason, Paramount have come up to me, have put all the stuff in front of me and just went, you make Transformers 5, okay?
Okay.
So the rules are, I need to make a sequel to Age of Extinction.
Right, okay.
And technically the first 3 movies, I'm not allowed to reboot it. I'm not allowed to do anything like too crazy that is like, oh no, the first 4 movies still happened. Okay?
Right, okay.
But that doesn't mean I can still rejig some of the lore though, but I need to accept that those first 3 films or 4 films still happened. And it needs to be a proper sequel to Age of Extinction.
Right, okay.
And I'm not rewriting The Last Night. That's the other rule. I'm not rewriting the film that did come out. No. Because they've put in front of me, said make a sequel to this, I have to come up with my own original idea.
Right, okay.
Because if we rewrote The Last Night, it would just be like, I would change things here and there, but it'd still be basically the same movie. I would just have it try and make more sense.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Right.
So if it gets more interesting, I just completely rewrite the movie.
So it's technically what Bryan Singer done with the X-Men?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Well, but I'm not bringing time travel into it though. So
no, but you know what I mean. Like he technically just said, no, those films didn't exist.
Well, technically, Matthew Vaughn did that for First Class, actually.
True, but
yeah, because in that movie, that movie implies that X-Men 1 and 2 are still going to happen, but X-Men 3 fuck that movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why First Class is like the best X-Men movie in my opinion, because it didn't need the time travel shit. It was just like, yeah, the good ones still count, but the shit ones, nah, fuck them, you know. So, but the rules here are though the first 4 still happened.
Right, okay.
However, though, I will bring up something during this that maybe slightly changes your perspective of the first 4 films.
Right, okay.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Here's the first thing I would do. The title, The Last Night, okay?
Right.
Cross out the word night. Mm-hmm. It's now The Last Prime.
I like that, yeah. Yeah, I like it so far.
The returning Autobots are going to be Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Hound, Drift, and Crosshairs, and the Dinobots, okay?
Right.
Unfortunately, Bumblebee, Hound, Drift, Crosshairs, and the Dinobots will not really be in the film very often, but they are returning for the film.
Right, okay.
The new Autobots will be Hot Rod, Ultra Magnus, Springer, Blur, Red Alert, and because they already used RC, you know, I can't use RC, and they used Elite 1 as well, so I have to use Firestar.
I mean,
everyone's favourite female Transformer.
Yeah.
So.
What happened to RC?
Oh, she died in the second one.
Did she?
Yeah.
Fine.
Just shows you how much of a clusterfuck they are. There's a bit when Bumblebee's trying to help Sam get to Optimus and all that.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which Decepticon he's fighting, but that Decepticon, when he throws Bumblebee out of the way, the RC bikes jump at him and he just rips them all in half.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So that the only female Autobot that's appeared in the series so far fucking died, you know, and I don't think she even got a line. The returning Decepticons will be Galvatron and Starscream.
Right. Okay. Wait.
I know.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Galvatron and Starscream returning. Yeah.
But then Starscream die.
Oh yeah. He did.
You can bring him back.
No, I can bring him back.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I will explain how I'll bring him back. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Galvatron's also. Hey, if Megatron could come back, then.
Well, technically, Megatron put his
mind into Galvatron.
Yeah.
So, but basically, Galvatron's coming back, and our new Decepticons will be Psychonus and Scourge.
Right. Okay.
Because I don't think Galvatron is right without Psychonus and Scourge.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I will explain very soon how Starscream's coming back. Okay.
Right. Okay.
and it is something that happened in the original show. Okay. Okay, so here's how I would start the movie. Okay, the start of the movie will be the battle from the end of Age of Extinction. Okay,
Right.
but we're going to get it from Galvatron's point of view.
I see where you're going with this.
Because think about the battle at the end of Age of Extinction. We do not see anything that Galvatron does except he gets one shot where it cuts away from Optimus and the Dinobots destroying the Decepticons. He's just like walking through the side, goes, "No, they're ruining everything," and it's like, what?
Yeah, and it's like he walks away from it.
Yeah, and then at the end, it just cuts to one last shot of him just going, "I will return, Prime," and it's like, all right, okay, you didn't do anything in this movie, so.
I have a question actually. Seeing the last night, is Megatron or is he Galvatron?
No, he's Megatron.
Why isn't he Galvatron?
There's no explanation for it.
Right, okay, get on with your idea.
The movie basically lets you fill in the blanks so we can discuss it later. So, basically, Galvatron's point of view of the battle at the end of Age of Extinction, and what this is to demonstrate is that his human-made body is not quite stable. You know how like the way he transforms is that like all the metal breaks down and all that. We'll show that it's not very stable. Like he's glitching and stuff like that. Something is not quite right with him.
Right.
And he should be hearing a voice in his head that's Starscream. And we should use a recording from the second movie. The line is, "Lord Megatron, I was so relieved to hear of your resurrection."
Yeah.
Okay. And then have like the end of the battle and all that, and then have him on the hill where he says, "I'll return," or whatever, "Optimus, I've been reborn," and show him finding the remains of the ship that Optimus got the Dinobots out of. Have him like repair that, go into space, and then we cut to the title, which is Transformers: The Last Prime. Okay. So, the way we begin from there is a year has passed since Optimus took into space. And the humans from the last movie are helping the Autobots and the Dinobots construct a fortress city as an apology for the events of Age of Extinction. The businessman who was making his own Transformers in the last movie?
Yeah.
He's like behind all of it. This is like his apology and all that because he seemed quite. He wanted to. He feels bad for everything that happened.
Yeah,
so
he seemed like he was. He generally did feel guilty for everything that happened.
And he told Cade, like, who also had his home destroyed, like, I can help with that and all that. So Cade Yeager, Mark Wahlberg, is the chief engineer on this construction, and the Autobots and him are discussing how Optimus has been gone and when he may come back.
Yeah.
Hound and Bumblebee both share the belief that if he comes back, he best not have anything follow him back.
Right.
Now, and well, that'll be like a good maybe 5-10 minutes, that scene or whatever. Good character development for them because they're not going to be seen for the rest of the film, honestly.
Right. Okay.
Until the very end. Just establish the construction of Autobot City. Because now we're going into space. Galvatron lands on a distant planet and he finds clues showing Optimus has been there. He sees the traces are fresh and Optimus has just left the planet. He hears the voice of Starscream telling him we have him in our sights. And from far away, possibly in space on his own ship, Psychonus is observing Galvatron.
Right. Okay.
So, this is the only thing I'm slightly borrowing from the last night is the bit where Optimus is floating in space and he's like frozen. We'll have that. We'll borrow. That's the one thing I'm borrowing, and he crashes onto Cybertron. Now, the last night did not fucking explain how Cybertron was still around. Okay. I will explain how Cybertron's still around despite being destroyed in the third movie. Okay.
Go on.
So he crash lands onto Cybertron. He sees a construct in the distance. However, though he's low on energon, he collapses as these bulky creatures pick him up and take him to a palace which the Quintessons reside in. These bulky creatures are basically the Sharkticons, which are like the Quintessons, like henchmen. So the Quintessons are finally introduced. They are the creators of the Transformers. Follow up from Age of Extinction, where Lockdown was like, your creators want you back, and these are the Quintessons, and yes, they are going to be like the rotating head guys. So like each head like represents like different emotions and all that. and there'll also be the guys who are like the weird shark guys who like also have the octopus tentacles and all that, but they're not really the Sharkticons though. But the main Quintezon will be, I'll borrow the name from Transformers Energon. He'll be called Alpha Q, which is Alpha Quintezon. And he has the rotating heads and the different personalities and all that.
Oh yeah, the one that's inside Ultron.
Ultron?
No, not Ultron. Unicron.
Well, yeah, like in the show he was inside Unicron, but he's not inside Unicron here. He's like he has his own palace in Cybertron and all that.
Right, okay.
The Quintezons have retaken Cybertron. They hold Prime prisoner and explain to him that they sent Lockdown to capture him in order to use him and the Matrix to destroy the monster planet Unicron. Claiming that the Matrix contains the power of Primus and can destroy Unicron, which is Unicron's opposite, basically. They also explain to Prime, but they don't give the full explanation, that the planet destroyed in Dark of the Moon was not Cybertron.
Right, okay.
Okay, so at this point, Prime just has to go on with what the Quintezons are telling him. And so they take him to Unicron, and Unicron... I'm not going to use the classic look for Unicron.
What look are you going to give to him?
Basically, what we're going to do is he will have like the big horns coming out and all that, and he will have like the giant mouth. However, though, I want it to make it look like he's really been proper, like just been like floating through space. So I want like make him look really dirty, really make him proper planet size. So like when Optimus lands on him, it's like dust and all that. And you can barely tell where Unicron begins or where he ends. Like really properly make him planet sized, you know. So Optimus like delves into Unicron and all that. However, the Unicron detects him and captures him and like gets him inside like these wires and all that. And he extracts information from Prime about where Earth is. And Unicron comes to the conclusion that Earth would be his next target after Cybertron. And Optimus is unable to open the Matrix to destroy Unicron. Optimus is then saved by the Quintezons, explaining that their plan next is to use the seed from Age of Extinction Optimus brought to them. In order to, they're going to use it on the dead Cybertron to create new metal in order to build a super weapon to destroy Unicron. And while this may briefly revive Cybertron, it will turn the planet into a farm for metal, and eventually will like the planet will be damaged so much in the long term it will be unrevivable by that point. So Optimus is thrown in jail and is to await trial. In prison, he meets the new Autobots, which are Hot Rod, Ultra Magnus, Springer, Blur, Firestar, and Red Alert. They explain that they were a separate branch of Autobots who have been fighting the war in another region of space against another group of Decepticons led by Psychonus. They have a mistrust of Optimus because they believe he abandoned them in this sector and has completely forgot the war was being fought all over the universe, not just like on Cybertron and Earth. Hot Rod, on the other hand, is more... He's going to be the Luke Skywalker of our film, basically. He's going to be very... He's even from the get-go, where everyone mistrusts him, Hot Rod is going to kind of look up to Optimus. And he's going to like... He's gonna be like he listens to everything Optimus says. He like tries to and Optimus is gonna be like his mentor and all that. Hot Rod eventually asks Optimus why he was unable to harness the power of the Matrix, and Optimus explains that in order to do that, the Matrix must accept its user. And Prime, over the past 4 films, has become more and more aggressive and bloodthirsty, a far cry from his previous selflessness.
Right. Okay.
Because if you've ever seen Dark of the Moon, Optimus is a fucking psycho.
He is.
He kills Megatron without a second thought, which the old Optimus would never do that. I mean, like, he's always considered killing Megatron as kind of like, I wish I could resolve this peacefully, but, you know, we have to go to war because Megatron won't listen to reason. Killing Megatron is not quite what he wants. And then he obviously just executes Sentinel, who's, like, begging for mercy at the end of that movie. And Optimus is just like... He's a dick at the end of that movie, basically.
I mean, he just literally kills him off.
Yeah, because Megatron says we need a truce, and then Optimus just like, nope, and he chops his head off, and then Sentinel's just like, Optimus, I know I'm bad, but you have to understand my reasoning. Please don't kill me. And Optimus just like, nah, I'm killing you. You know?
Yeah, I know.
So the Matrix no longer considers Prime to be worthy of being a Prime. So this is where we get into kind of the Act 2 of the movie, and we get back to our villains, okay?
Right.
Galvatron has been successfully captured by Psychonus, and at first Psychonus does not believe that this is actually Megatron. However, though, soon after like a bit of like back and forth, I've not obviously written what the back and forth is going to be, but he comes to realize, no, that this is Megatron. So he lets Galvatron take command, and he still calls him Megatron. However, though, Galvatron insists, no, I must be called Galvatron, to everyone's confusion, because Galvatron was the name the humans gave him. And like Psychonus is like, why would he accept a name that, you know, the humans gave him? But this is to establish that Galvatron is slightly mad. So this is where Psychonus explains my slight retcon of the first 4 movies, okay? He explains that the reason Cybertron's existence is because the events of the first 3 films were all planned out by the Quintessons. The cube from the first movie was not actually the real Allspark, but rather an advanced piece of Quintesson technology that could turn mechanical objects into Transformers. The pyramid from Revenge of the Fallen would not have actually destroyed Earth had the Fallen been successful in that movie. In fact, the time between the Fallen was originally on Earth, and the events of the first movie, the Quintessons altered the pyramid into a signal device, as they did not know the location of the Matrix, so that when the Fallen found it and placed inside the machine, it actually sent a signal to the Quintessons that the Matrix had been found, which is why they send Lockdown in Age of Extinction, because they know the Matrix and Optimus Prime are on Earth. And finally, the Dark of the Moon, the Quintessons swapped the space bridge with a hologram projector, so that the Transformers would keep fighting on Earth as they sent Lockdown to Earth. And that would also make sense in that if a planet came that close to Earth, Earth would literally probably explode, just from like just like another planet coming to the atmosphere would just like corrupt the magnetic poles, the gravitational field, and all that. Everything would just be fucked.
Yeah.
So if it's really if all that was a hologram projector, then that explains why Earth had like no harm to it in that movie.
I can see where you're going with this. Yeah.
So Galvatron, after hearing all this, he's pissed off that the Quintessons have basically tricked them this entire time, that the entire war might have actually all been caused by the Quintessons. However, though, he hears the voice of Starscream in his head once again saying, "How do you feel, mighty Megatron?" Galvatron suddenly sees Psychonus as Starscream and punches him across the room, demonstrating he has very unusual strength. Galvatron claims to the Decepticons that he no longer cares about conquest. Instead, they have a new goal: destruction of Optimus Prime. So Optimus, we come back to Optimus and the Autobots, and they're taken to trial. And this is basically a repeat of the trial scene from the '86 movie, where Hot Rod and Cup are the ones being tried. And we'll have like a good replay of the dialogue in that bit, such as, you know, silence or you will be held in contempt of this court. And Hot Rod goes, I have nothing but contempt for this court, you know. So Hot Rod is he's quite brash, but he's very, you know, like he's willing to stand up to the Quintessons and all that.
Yeah.
And Optimus like takes notice of this. We have like the big battle with the Sharkticons and all that. You know, once again, just repeat of the '86 movie. You know, I'm basically throwing some fan service in there. And they're able to fight long enough to escape to a spaceship. And Optimus tells everyone, right, we need to get back to Earth, round up the other Autobots, and think of a plan to take on Unicron before he reaches Earth. However, though, the Decepticons have their own ship and are in pursuit. So the battle continues through space until Red Alert fixes the hyperdrive and they're able to enter into hyperspace. However, though, during that time, the back of the... No, I'm getting ahead of myself here. No, but they enter hyperspace. And during the time in hyperspace, because it still takes a while, but it's a shortcut anyway, Optimus is able to speak to Hot Rod and Ultra Magnus one-on-one. And he gets to know them, and he starts to notice the qualities of a leader in Ultra Magnus.
Right.
And he maybe starts to think, maybe this could be the next Matrix bearer. Maybe my time as leader has come, and maybe Ultra Magnus could take it on. You know, he looks like a leader, he talks like a leader and all that. Right. However, though, soon they get out of hyperspace, but it turns out the Decepticons are not far behind. They have their own hyperspace drive, and they're loading all their firepower onto the Autobot ship. and they're forced to separate the ship into two halves. However, though, due to like the damage in the second ship, Optimus is forced to like go to the back to try and like fix the thing that helps split off the ships.
Mm-hmm.
And Hot Rod and Ultra Magnus come with him to help him, and the three of them, when the ship splits in half, they are still on the back end of the ship. As the front with the other Autobots goes towards Earth, the back ship part of the ship splits off and crashes on Mars. So, but there's no time to rest though, because Galvatron immediately lands and targets Optimus, while Psychonus fights Magnus and Scourge fights Hot Rod, and we have this big fight. Mm-hmm. Once again, can have a bit of fan service because in the cartoon, Psychonus and Magnus were kind of rivals. Have like Hot Rod have like a big fight with Scourge and all that, and obviously Optimus and Galvatron's like the classic, Megatron Optimus fight and all that.
Mm-hmm.
However, the way the fight's going to end is that Magnus and Hot Rod seem to be winning their fights. However, the Optimus struggles against Galvatron's power and rage. Galvatron is able to take Optimus' sword off him and strikes Optimus, showing that like I have the upper hand. But Optimus is quickly able to turn the fight around, and Galvatron falls to the ground. He sees Psychonus' weapon has been fallen out of his hands, and he tries to reach for his Optimus, goes for the killing strike. However, though, Galvatron instead uses his breakdown powers to quickly evade that, and instead he jumps at Hot Rod instead of the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes him as hostage, and Optimus isn't able to do the killing blow because he doesn't want to kill Hot Rod. Galvatron produces a new arm cannon, kind of like the classic Galvatron arm cannon, and he throws Hot Rod away and fires Optimus Prime, landing critical strikes.
Yeah.
And then we get the classic Optimus is on the ground, basically dying, and Galvatron's like, "It's over, Prime." Optimus then picks up a sword with his last energy, stabs Galvatron for like the face or something, which obviously isn't going to kill him because of the body and all that he has. And he screams, "Never!" And Galvatron, the Decepticons are forced to flee.
Right.
Hot Rod sits beside his fallen hero and says, "Optimus, forgive me." So here's the big scene. Okay, Magnus and Hot Rod are around Optimus, and he's dying. He takes out the Matrix and he gives it to Ultra Magnus, saying he's worthy of using its power and must now lead the Autobots, though Ultra Magnus is incredibly reluctant, saying that he's just a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Optimus's last words are to Hot Rod, who is still begging for forgiveness, and says, "There's nothing to forgive. Autobots' fight is won until the day that all are one." And then he looks up at the sky and says, "This is what it feels like to be a hero again." Optimus dies.
Right, okay.
He is not coming back like he did in the second one, okay?
He's dead, he's gone.
He's fucking dead, okay?
Right.
We're not going through all that shit again, okay? This time he is properly dead.
Right, okay, good.
And that was his last moment, so this is what it feels like to be a hero again. That's his last line. That's how you do it, okay?
Right, go right.
He is not coming back, okay?
Okay.
So this is where we're getting into the climax of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The Autobots arrive on Earth, the first half of the ship, and they explain the situation to Hound, Bumblebee, Drift, Crosshairs, and the Dinobots. And luckily for them, Cade has got Autobots City fully operational, and so when the Decepticons arrive, they've got plenty of firepower waiting for them.
Yeah.
The Decepticons are on their ship, about to reach Earth, with Galvatron saying that they've destroyed Prime. Their new goal is to crush every Autobot. And this is obviously once again getting into the fact that he's just properly fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Is that he can't decide in one go. He's just like, no, this is our new goal, this is our new goal. And he just wants to crush everything he sees. And he continues to hear the voice of Starscream in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Psychonus starts to realise that Galvatron is a fucking loony. And he realises this is a combination of this unstable body, his mind being transferred constantly, and the lack of actually having a real spark.
Yeah.
And Psychonus is now starting to realise that that Starscream is kind of a factor here.
Yeah.
And he figures out that maybe when they were building Galvatron, they actually used some of Starscream's parts.
Ah.
So Galvatron isn't quite Megatron. He's a hybrid of Starscream and Megatron.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on inside Galvatron's mind is actually both of these minds operating, battling for dominance.
Right, okay, I see where you're going with this.
And that's how we bring back Starscream.
I like it. So, so you're taking technically what Batman Arkham Knight did.
Well, yeah, but I'm also taking the Ghost of Starscream plotline as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was something in the original show I liked, but they never fucking explained it, how Starscream can become a ghost. So to me, this is how we explain, is that his mind was also transferred inside the body of Galvatron. And that's how we do the Ghost of Starscream thing.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is the final battle, is Magnus and Hot Rod launch into space. An attempt to get to Earth before Galvatron, however, though the Decepticon ship is a lot faster than their internal like rocket boosters, and Galvatron launches his attack on Autobot City. He sends out a signal for the last remaining Decepticons on Earth, who are the Combaticons, who have been hiding out on Earth waiting for Megatron or whatever to come back and give them commands, and they combine into Bruticus and break through all the Autobot City defenses. Mm-hmm. As the Autobots and Cade Yeager attempt to like fight them off and all that. Cade can be like sitting like a tower or whatnot, and he's like controlling all the like guns and all that. So we give Mark Wahlberg something to do. Because as I say, I want to continue on from the last movie, so I need to kind of, and I think Transformers works well when you have a human element in there.
Yeah,
I feel like they always need a human sidekick, and to me, that should be Cade Yeager. I don't think Cade should be the main character of the fucking movie. You know,
no.
So Bruticus has a big fight with the Dinobots, okay? And that's going to be fucking epic. You can do like this thing where like maybe Bruticus, like he launches one of his arms off or something towards the Dinobots, and like Blast Off, who's like the arm or whatever, transforms and like jumps and like Grimlock and starts like throwing him about over the place, and then he jumps back and connects back on as the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Just get really creative with the combiner. So the Autobots, they all band together to take down Galvatron. However, the Galvatron is just too powerful for basically all of them. And during this fight, we have to kill off Crosshairs and Red Alert. Where like Crosshairs was a fun character in Age of Extinction, and I know I basically barely had Red Alert in this movie, but like I was going through things and just like, no, if I was ever going to write a 6 movie, I'd want Springer and Blur to do more stuff in the next one. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to kill off Firestar, because I'd be doing a Michael Bay killing off the only female Transformer, just because. So we need to kill off Crosshairs and Red Alert.
Right.
Just to show Galvatron is really that powerful, you know? He's already killed Optimus, and he basically kills Crosshairs and Red Alert like they're nothing. Galvatron then has a fight with Bumblebee, but before he can kill Bumblebee, Magnus crashes onto Earth and like throws Galvatron about all over the place. Ultra Magnus rounds up all the Autobots and they begin to push back, and they destroy Bruticus. However, though, when Magnus once again re-enters a one-on-one fight with Galvatron, he starts to lose, overtaken by like Galvatron's amazing like power and all that. So Hot Rod then jumps in to save him, with Galvatron ripping the Matrix out of Ultra Magnus.
Fuck.
So Ultra Magnus is still alive, but like Galvatron like properly just like punches through his chest and rips out the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And Galvatron gets like a big monologue here, which I've tried to. It's going to sound really cheesy, but this is what I would have him kind of say. You were good, Magnus, but you were no Prime. I have destroyed Optimus Prime with my bare hands. Nothing will stop me. Not you, not the Quintessence, not even Unicron. All who face the mighty Galvatron meet their end. Long live Galvatron! However, the Hot Rod shoots at Galvatron and he saved Magnus as the Matrix falls out of Galvatron's hand and into Hot Rod.
Mm-hmm.
The moment he touches the Matrix, it makes a great power, transforming Hot Rod into Rodimus Prime. So he gets like a height increase and all that. His like colors kind of like something just happens that changes him into Rodimus Prime. And as he raises the Matrix above his head, he hears the voices of the 13 Primes speak. Arise, our descendant Rodimus, the last Prime.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Jesus!
Well, come on, I got to throw in the title somewhere. Okay?
You do.
So this is the bit when fan service again. We have the classic song "You've Got the Touch" by Stan Bush. So it's just we hear Rodimus, the last Prime, and he goes, "You've got the touch, you've got the power," and he points at Galvatron and goes, "This is the end of the road, Galvatron," and he completely just destroys Galvatron, and chucks him towards Cyclonus and Scourge, and the Decepticons retreat into space on their ship. And so that's what I was really building up to this whole time. This movie was not really about stopping Unicron. It was actually a Rodimus Prime origin story.
Right, okay.
So Decepticons retreating to space, and in the wreckage of Autobot City, all the Autobots gather in their new leader, who, to close out the movie, gives a big speech saying, "My friends, the Matrix has chosen me as its bearer. I did not ask for this, but I accept it. I will do this for Optimus, for you, and the universe. The freedom of all life is in danger from the monster planet Unicron. Dark times lie ahead, my friends, and today we have lost allies. But for our combined power, the Matrix will light the way and light our darkest hour. I see it now as my obligation. I belong to it as much as it belongs to me. I may not be the leader that Optimus was, but I promise I'm going to try. We will fight as one, till all are one. Everyone cheers. The end."
Nice, I like it.
But it's not quite the end, though.
Right.
The credits will start off with, you know how like credits always have like these big animations and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll do that, but it's going to be the classic Transformers theme and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have a mid-credit sequence.
Go on.
Okay, to set up the next movie. The mid-credit sequence is they're on the Decepticon ship, and Psychonus realizes Galvatron's beyond fucked after the fight with Rodimus Prime, and that the Earth body is just shattering to pieces and all that. Like, he can't keep himself together.
Mm-hmm.
Psychonus is like, "You're unfit to lead this. I need to retake command." And he kicks him out in the spaceship.
Jesus.
And Galvatron floats about in space, and we could do like a time-lapse thing and all that, how long he's really floating out in space and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly in front of Galvatron, he sees Unicron, who's floating above him. Galvatron looks up at Unicron, and he begins to laugh, but it's not the laugh of Megatron. It's the laugh of Starscream. And then we cut to black. And that's how we end the Blast Prime. That's how I would have fucking done Transformers 5. Jesus fucking Christ.
Fuck's sake, you went on for what? 36 minutes?
Yeah, I know. Well, I was pitching a movie, so, you know.
I like it. I generally like that idea.
I do, when I was writing it, I do have two problems myself with it.
Right.
Is that the Quintessons kind of just disappear after the first half.
Right, okay.
And it feels like some of the more interesting stuff I'm saving for the next movie. But unfortunately, that's the way sequels work now, so, you know.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, films nowadays, you don't get a film unless you have, like, two films after it.
Yeah.
That idea of having two films after it.
Yeah.
We learned at uni, it's called, like, the blockbuster effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you always have to have, like, a sequel in mind or, a trilogy in mind.
Just constantly keep generating money, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Because that's what, like, Resident Evil did. It was just one of those things where they knew it was going to be easy money.
Yeah.
No matter what they done, they knew it was going to be easy money.
Yeah, because compared to, like, most blockbusters, the Resident Evil movies don't really have high budgets. Like, so basically they were just always guaranteed to make money. So
yeah, exactly.
Because it had a brand recognition. They didn't cost a lot to make, so it was like, yeah, we're going to make profit no matter what we do, which, to be fair, I don't know why more studios don't do that. Because it means you can make... Because I think you can make more money producing 5 smaller blockbusters as opposed to putting all your, like... eggs in one basket of one big blockbuster like Batman v Superman, and it doesn't do the money you wanted it to, you know.
Yeah, the only the problem I have with, like, Batman versus Superman was the fact that was like 6 different graphic novels in one film, and it made it was just so annoying. Why don't you just come up with a original graphic novel and just work from that?
Yeah. But back to Transformers though. Mm-hmm. So. You think that would have been a better follow-up to Age of Extinction then?
I think it would, mainly for the fact that I was getting extremely bored with the human element of it.
Yeah.
I was getting extremely bored because Sam Witwicky, he was annoying as all hell, and I couldn't believe him as a real character. Because it was this geeky character, geeky, loner, wanna be popular guy.
Yeah.
And he gets a car, and instantly he's the popular guy with the most hottest girl in school.
And then in the third movie, she's broken out of him, and he's found someone else.
And he's found a model.
Yeah. It's like,
And it's like, no, 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 no.
oh well, that's actually something that was in the last night that I didn't keep in, but like it was actually kind of a funny moment. The last night implies that Sam Witwicky's dead.
Thank God.
Because there's this woman in it, and she's told she's the last of like a ancient clan that know that like their blood can control the staff of Merlin,
Right.
and it shows the photos of all the descendants, and Sam's in there. So it's like, wait, if she's the last one, then he's dead, right? So
I can't believe he's actually, a bloodline to the staff of Marlin. Fuck off.
well, yeah, because they're called the clan's called the Witwickens.
Oh!
Aren't you glad I didn't keep that element from the last night?
I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't keep that in. And I didn't believe in Mark Wahlberg's character, really.
Nah, my biggest problem with him is that like he's too much the focus.
Yes.
But I actually kind of like the idea of an inventor character who helps the Transformers, because that in the original show that's who Sparkplug basically was.
Yeah. My biggest thing was the fact. Fine, I could believe that. It was just his dad trying to do right for his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that part, but once the Transformers showed up, he was, and when things started exploding, he was extremely calm.
Yeah, and he like got a gun, and he was like, "Wait, you're a trained soldier? What?" Or
yeah,
like, how do you know how to use a gun? Oh wait, he's from Texas, right? Okay.
No, but still, it was this unbelievable character that you just couldn't take seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was just a father trying to do right, or like try to protect his daughter, that'd be absolutely fine.
Oh, and he drinks Bud Light all the time as well.
Yeah.
So. Oh, that's in the last night as well. Actually, his fridge is just packed with Bud Light. How convenient that like his favorite drink, is that drink that he drank in Age of Extinction, which he just crashed into the truck from,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like, just for example, like say in Age of Existence, we have the Mark Wahlberg character, and he's just this father who's trying to protect his daughter. Doesn't know how to use weapons, even though he does use weapons in that film, but he's kind of a noob at it. He's a rookie.
Aye.
You can tell he's a rookie. But in this film, in the film that you've done, you can tell he's grown.
Yeah.
Through combat experience with the Transformers.
Yeah. As I said, like have him control like all the weapons from like a tower.
Exactly. I mean that shows he's developed from Age of Existence to this film.
But don't have him running about in the battlefield, though.
No, I mean have him
He would get crushed immediately. So
have him in the control room. And that's the control room's chaotic. Try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and what else you could have him do is that in the original '86 movie, that's kind of what Blaster does during that fight. He's in like the control tower, firing all the guns and all that, and I kind of think you could have him say all the same dialogue Blaster did and all that.
Yeah.
Like, can be all like, what is it? He says, "Watch out and shout, ow!" And then, "Hey, Perceptor, what's shaking over in this fortress?"
Yeah.
Make it like the comic relief during all like this depressing shit I've got going on.
Exactly. So. Yeah. I mean, but get rid of all. If that's true, like the Transformers, well, the Autobots and the Decepticons had been there for years. They'd been coming to Earth constantly. Get rid of all that, because that's just complete bullshit.
Yeah, that was, as I said, if I was told make a sequel to this movie, we're not rewriting The Last Night, I would never even consider that as like a thing.
Yeah. Because
that completely rewrites the first four films the wrong way. It's almost just like, just forget everything we told you. Whereas what I tried to do was acknowledge that those things did happen, but they didn't quite happen the way you thought they did. So as I said, like it was all tricks by the Quintessons and all that. And maybe that it won't necessarily make those films better.
Yeah.
But maybe people will be able to go back and watch them before getting to my one and be all like, all right, this was all building up to this one, So basically what I tried to do was Age of Extinction was maybe kind of a soft reboot to the franchise.
Yeah.
It's maybe like, right, the first three films happened, but we don't really need to worry about those. We've still got Optimus and Bumblebee in here. So I want to take that even further in that no, we're getting rid of Optimus. We're establishing a new version of Galvatron. And we're establishing a new leader for the Autobots. That way, those films still happened, but we're taking away the old guard and bringing in something new to breathe some life into the series.
Yeah.
Whereas the last night kind of just did the same shit that the other ones did.
Exactly.
And it's like Michael Bay should have really jumped ship ages ago. Like the guy can work when he's in his element, but he has never been in his element directing the Transformers. So
no, he should have gave up in the first one.
Yeah, like I think it would have been fine had he just done the first one, because it's like he basically directs movies that are big budget Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah. So
it made sense, right? Have him direct an actual big budget Saturday morning cartoon. But they just kept giving him the goddamn movies, and I don't even think he even wants to be directing them.
No, I think he's done.
Yeah, but he said he was done at the end of the third one.
No more Transformer films should come out. No more.
Yeah, well, the Bumblebee film's coming out still, so
reboot the full thing. Just reboot the full thing.
Well, this was my attempt to try and like salvage that series. Had I done it, I wouldn't have rebooted it. I would have been if the demand was no, you need to make a sequel to the fourth one. That's how I would have done it. You know, because there is, as I said, it's the X-Men First Class type of thing. It's like, right, we ain't necessarily gonna reboot the series, but we're gonna try and be right, these films happen, but these ones, yeah, you can just fucking forget about them, you know. And we're kind of just gonna try and push and do our own thing from this point on. And then Days of Future Past took that even further. It was like, no, we're rebooting the entire timeline and all that. So
yeah,
but
no, I think well, seeing as you've talked about Transformers in the last night and how you would have done it your way, and to be honest, in my opinion, it actually sounds a lot better than what I've heard about the last night.
Yeah. As I said, my own criticisms of my own idea though is the Quintessons are real low in it for the first half, and I introduced Unicron, but I'm saving him for the next one, and you know.
No, I mean that's how you do it. Like a good sequel. I mean, you leave things open. I mean, not big things, just kind of those little things that make the fans come back for.
Yeah.
Don't like instantly sequel bait. You know, like leave massive amounts of things open.
Aye, definitely so.
Because this is just naming off a few. Transformers did it a lot. Resident Evil did it a lot.
Aye. Oh god, the third Resident Evil movie.
Yeah,
did that.
But seeing as
then the fourth one said no, fuck that.
Yeah, I know. But seeing as you've talked about how you would have done that series different, I think in the next podcast, where I'm guessing we're going to call, how I would have done this. I'm going to do Resident Evil.
All right, okay. So would it be if you made a sequel to one of them though, or would it be if you rebooted it, or if
I rebooted it, or if I did it, if I was given the idea first?
All right, so like if instead of, let's say they went to you and Paul W.S. Anderson at the same time, he pitched his first movie, how would you pitch the first movie?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I am interested to hear that though. I am also interested in trying like, how would I have done a sequel to a bad movie though more? Because I find something kind of fascinating about trying to salvage something that's not working.
Very true.
Like, have you ever seen those Belated Media videos about how What If Episodes 1, The Phantom Menace, was really good?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And all he does to episode 1 really is he just tweaks it.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly, and it's instantly a better film. Which, once again, which is what I use as my defense of why The Phantom Menace maybe isn't as bad as people think. You know, I think like it's a decent story, but it's poorly written.
Yeah, I see that also. I mean, it's worth a good watch.
Yeah,
but you can't take it serious.
Yeah, like the characters are bland. Like that's the tweak he makes is put some more back and forth between the characters and all that. Jar Jar's not there.
Yeah, get rid of fucking Jar Jar.
Anakin's a bit older than a child. Have Obi-Wan is the main character, 100%. Have his two main relationships be with Padme and Qui-Gon. Darth Maul doesn't die, and that basically fixes the whole movie. And then he did Attack of the Clones, and he basically rewrote the entire fucking movie. So which is once again my proof of why I think Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie. But
yeah,
you get these people that are like, no, Phantom Menace is the worst, and it's like, have you seen Attack of the Clones?
No, I would say Revenge of the Sith was.
Whoa, really? Revenge of the Sith?
I didn't like it.
Revenge of the Sith is a tough one for me in that I feel its biggest problem is that like it's the only one you need to see.
In my eyes, the Jedi are evil. Yeah, can you pitch that line that's like you don't give two fucks?
No, the way you make that line better is like, instead of saying from my point of view the Jedi are evil, have them just say like something like I know now for a fact that you guys are evil. Don't have him say it's his opinion.
No, it's like I now know. I mean, it's just kind of like with him and Obi, and Obi's trying to convince him to come back to the light, and he's like, I know now after all this time that the Jedi are the truly evil ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nah, but no. I don't think Revenge of the Sith is terrible by any means. I don't think it's a good movie, but like it's watchable. I do think there's a lot of really good action in it. I actually really like. I must be one of the few people that thinks Anakin's turn to the dark side is actually not horrible in that film. It's done badly in Attack of the Clones when they have like the hints of him turning to the dark side, but I think it's actually done decently in Revenge of the Sith. I like the opera scene.
Yeah,
where Palpatine talks to Anakin and tells him like Jedi can't learn. Like the acting with both actors and their chemistry is fantastic. I think. Yes, even Hayden Christensen. Yes, I know. Like when he actually becomes Darth Vader, when he's given the title, "Your name is now Darth Vader," and all that.
Yeah, he
looks fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
that's. People say like, "Oh, his acting is horrible." It's like, have you seen him when he becomes Darth Vader? I would not go near that guy.
Yeah.
But then he becomes he actually becomes less terrifying when he puts on the suit.
That's true.
No. So that I don't think you can blame him for that.
No. But seeing as you've pitched your idea for Transformers: The Last Prime, something as if I was a studio and you pitched that to me and Michael Bay pitched The Last Night to me, I'd go with you with this one, because it does sound a lot better. You know how like people say, oh, you need like a human character there or someone that you can relate to.
Yeah,
you honestly don't. I've never watched a film and went, oh, I can relate with that character. I've never watched a film that I've done that. Mm-hmm. Because I'm my own person, but don't get me wrong, I like watching films that I like the character. If you go into a film where like the main character is a complete arsehole and you don't like him, then you're not going to like the film. But if you have even if it's just mainly Transformers and their personalities are good and that you like these characters, then that's all that should matter. You should not have this whole you need to relate with these characters.
Yeah.
And you can relate with these characters even though they're not like a human or a male or a female. You can still relate with these characters.
Yeah, because if you couldn't relate to the Transformers, they wouldn't have been around as long as they have been.
Exactly. And that's one thing I didn't like about the films, where they were putting these characters in that you just couldn't relate to.
Yeah, because in the first film, it's like there's 5 Autobots.
Yeah.
And the only ones I could tell you anything about would probably be Optimus and Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Bumblebee is loyal to Sam, has a sense of humor, and is is willing to fight even though he gets his legs blown off at the end of it, you know?
Yeah.
Optimus is basically just Optimus from G1 in that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then the rest of them, Ratchet, he's a medical officer.
True.
Ironhide has guns.
He's just awesome, though.
And Jazz is black.
Jazz is Jazz is technically like the stereotypical black character, and that all kind of like Hollywood sees black people as, and it's it's
oh god, I know it may sound horrible, but like that is what his character is, unfortunately.
It is. That's the thing.
Black, like that's
the thing. Like, see when they're like, oh, we're doing new things with black characters, and then you watch them and you can tell exactly that they're the old stereotypical black gangsters that you would see in all films, and it's like, yeah, that's no different because Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters, was one of them. Oh, we're changing, we're getting rid of stereotypes and all these toxic things, and then the black female character, I don't know her name. I'm not watching Ghostbusters, but that character, she was far too black.
Because they keep saying, oh, we're doing new things with black characters, but then when you compare them to their like original counterparts, it's like, what are you talking about? You're actually making them worse, Yeah. Because I'm thinking Jazz in the original cartoon, he was a character who was voiced by a black man, right?
That's fine.
He was voiced by the Scatman Crothers, the guy who voiced Hong Kong Phooey.
Yeah.
Jazz was a funny character. He was a loyal Autobot. He sometimes took command if Optimus needed help and all that. And like his big thing was that he loved music and all that. Not once did I ever think to myself, Jazz is a black character.
Yeah.
I just thought to myself, he's a robot who is voiced by a black man. That's it.
Yeah.
And the voice suited the character fine. And then if you look at Ghostbusters, Winston was black, but that never once that was never a factor in his character.
Yeah, he just seemed like a normal dude.
He was like, he was the normalizer in the Ghostbusters because they were all so obsessed with science.
Yeah.
And it made them all so kind of like inhuman.
Yeah, exactly.
He was the human element because they were all like quite strict atheists, yet they were like hunting down ghosts and all that, and he was the only one that was like, oh man, I love Jesus, man. It's like, so he was like the normal one.
Exactly.
And then when you watch, as I said, the new Transformers, it's like Jazz was black, and then that was his personality, and then the new Ghostbusters, that woman, that was also her personality. But was that these original counterparts that wasn't their defining characteristic.
Yeah. It
was a part of them, but it wasn't the thing that you remembered them for, Yeah. Whereas when you watch the new Transformers and the new Ghostbusters, it's like, yeah, gotta have them in there, That's
exactly.
It's not fair. It's really not fair.
Yeah, that's just what I feel kind of like in films nowadays. It's just like they try to push these minorities into it. Just so like studios and stuff like this can go, oh, we're not racist, we're not we're not sexist, we're not this, we're not that. It's like, you're doing this, it's proven that you are.
No, like a good example would be in the new Star Wars. Finn was black, but that never once came into his character. He was just a normal guy who was just trying to get out of a bad situation. That's
exactly.
All he did. Even in the prequels, Mace Windu, that was never a thing.
Exactly.
He was just this.
He was just technically Samuel Jackson in a Star Wars film.
Yeah, and he looked bored out of his fucking mind. So, just like you're allowed in this council, but you will not be granted the rank of. It's like, Sam, you want to emote a little?
Yeah.
So.
No, but like it's just this thing where it's just like, oh, you have to have these characters that's completely relatable, and it's like, no, you freaking don't. No, you don't.
It actually has me a little worried for the Han Solo film.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, but once again, like, Lando was black, but that wasn't a defining characteristic, He was a smooth talker, treacherous, but he wanted to make everything right in the end and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just worried that like we're gonna see the Han Solo film. God, I can't believe I have to call it that, the Han Solo film, and Lando is gonna just go, oh hell no, at one point.
Right. Right. Let's talk about all these kind of like. Well, how long have we? It's over an hour now, so let's take it 5 minutes and talk about kind of like characters, and what like Hollywood do, like changing them wise, and what they kind of put them in films. Because I read an article the other day when I was waiting to be picked up for work, that Ed Skeirin, is that his name? From the guy who played who was the bad guy in Deadpool.
Yeah, and he was the transporter as well.
Yeah, he's left the reboot for Hellboy.
Yes, because the character was going to be half Asian.
Yeah, because he got a lot of controversy for being that character.
British and white,
yeah.
Well, I think not a terrible decision on his part, So,
I mean,
because we've seen plenty of like characters maybe half Asian, but they're quite cruelly not even remotely. Like they couldn't even get someone that was quarter Asian or anything,
Yeah. Whereas I do kind of feel like they take these kind of characters that's like been, that's been these kind of characters for years. Then they pick someone to do it, and they're not exactly who that character is. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do 2 examples here, and they're going to be completely different. One of them is Johnny Storm from the new Fantastic Four film.
Yeah.
They made him into a black character, and I don't remember in any comic books that he was a black character.
I don't think there was ever one. Or
if there was, then please write in the comments, say I'm wrong, and give me like a provable link to it.
Send them loads of hate mail.
Yeah, and another one is having the Ancient One being a white female.
Yeah.
That was another one, where they just changed the character for the hell of it. Really,
I did read something about the Ancient One that the justification was that the title of the Ancient One has been held by many people in Doctor Strange comics before, and the idea of it being like a white woman would be possible because loads of people have held the Ancient title. It doesn't really matter, but the main one that people know about would be not a white woman, I think. So
yeah, and another one is Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, which we discussed before.
Which we've discussed before, yeah. But these are just the things where it's like these Hollywood studios are trying to get like big names into these kind of like either side character parts or big main parts.
Yeah. No, it's like I think George Takei said it best.
Mm-hmm.
Was in the third Star Trek film that got released. Was it last year? They, in honor of George Takei, they decided to make Zulu a gay character.
Yeah.
And while George Takei said he was flattered, he said he was like that's nice of you for doing that and all that. However, though, that was not Gene Roddenberry's vision for that character. I would have preferred it had you just created an original character and made him gay.
Yeah.
And I think that he hit the nail on the head there. Was instead of taking this character that we've known previously and changing their race or sexuality or anything like that, create a new character who fits in well with that world.
Yeah.
And give them that,
Exactly.
That saves everybody the hassle and all that, of all the controversy and all that.
Yeah. I completely agree with that one. But speaking about Transformers and stuff, I like what you've done with your idea with Transformers Last Prime.
Well, thank you.
I would actually love to go see that. I still haven't seen The Last Night. I don't plan on seeing it anytime soon.
I think you should see it actually.
I'm not buying it in Blu-ray. I'm not buying it in DVD. I'll find it somewhere online and I'll watch it. But I would have preferred to see your one.
Mm-hmm.
to this one, because yours sounds more interesting, where your one is more kind of, okay, this is a backstory of where like Unicron is, or bringing him in, and then and kind of leaving him out of it until the next film, which I like that idea, and it's you're not only are you tying up all loose ends from your film, you're also keeping some open for another film.
Yeah. So
I do like that idea, and I like the idea of you bringing in new characters.
The only ones I really gave stuff to do though were Hot Rod and Ultra Magnus. As I said, the other ones will do more in the next one, but that's if that next one never existed or anything. So
I like how you bring these new characters into it, like where they've been all this time, instead of just opening up a film, then they're suddenly there. And there's no explanation why they're there. They're just there.
Yeah. So because that's something I think they do in the comics as well, is that the war isn't just fought on Earth and Cybertron, it's fought all over the universe and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's even like Cybertronians who did not align to Autobot or Decepticon and just fled the planet entirely and left for. So it's like there's so many things you could do. I mean, it was an entire planet full of these robots. It's like, you tell me all of them went to Earth, you know?
Yeah.
That's what the films are trying to imply, you know? So
fuck's sake.
And obviously I've had the Quintessons, they've conquered Cybertron as well. So
yeah.
They'll come back. They would come back in the next one as well as villains as well. And I think the plot, if hypothetically, if the next one came out, would be about they've got to get to Cybertron to prevent the Quintessons from turning Cybertron into this weapon that's going to destroy the planet. And then once they've like resolved that, and then it's about taking on Unicron, all that. Unicron would repair Galvatron, give him a new body, and the mind of like Starscream would primarily take over. And you would basically get the opposite of what happened this one. Instead of like Megatron with the voice of Starscream, it'd be Starscream with the voice of Megatron going on. That's just it obviously would all accumulate with like a battle with Unicron and Galvatron, all that. That's how I would have done the next one. So
I like that idea. I'd love to have seen that.
Well, you're never gonna see it.
Maybe one day.
There's infinite parallel universes out there, you know. So there's a parallel universe out there where that film exists.
I mean, you never know. So, maybe one day it'll be taken up. Maybe one day.
Well, I would need to rewrite it as not a sequel to Age of Extinction, obviously, so because that ship has sailed now. So
exactly. But I would have liked to have seen that film. I really would have.
Aye. So
you can do it with your toy, with the Transformers figurines that you have.
What age am I again?
You're
23. So 23. What? Do you know if people are going to want to watch a 23-year-old man like playing about with?
Do stop animation.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if I have time, you know.
I mean, you have a decent camera now, so you set that up on a tripod and go at it.
Yeah, you do. You get those people that try and like remake films on the lowest budget possible. So
exactly. I mean, that's technically ours. I mean, we don't have like a big budget.
I've always wanted to reshoot the original Star Wars film, actually.
All right, okay.
But make it really low budget, you know. like I want Chewbacca to like just be me, but I have like a name tag that says Chewbacca. Like that's the budget we'd have.
Jesus Christ!
Just like we couldn't afford a Wookiee costume, so and I just go
Fuck's sake! Right. Anyway, I think we are done here now, seeing as we've been recording for an hour and 10 minutes.
Aye. So
so if you again like, share, subscribe, it's all free. It only takes like 2 minutes out of your time to all do it. So go do it now. Go on. I'll wait.
We're just gonna wait.
You know we're gonna wait. Go on. Go subscribe.
And hopefully we have more of these types of episodes lined up in the future. So
yeah, I think in the next episode we'll. Actually, in the next episode, I really want to talk about the Creator Club thing that Bethesda is doing with Fallout 4. I really want to talk about that because I think that is like, that's like the most dodgiest practice ever.
I'll need to look more into that before we do it, and I heard about it, so...
No, I didn't really know what it was about until I saw the things on PlayStation Network, like these coins, and I was like, what the hell? What's Creator Club? And it wasn't until I watched an episode of Young Ying's episode on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like got to be the most dodgiest thing ever.
So next time then, that's what we'll talk about.
Yes, we'll be talking about Fallout 4 Creation Club, mods and console games.
When are Bethesda going to give me what I really want?
What is that?
A port of Skyrim to the Game Boy Advance.
That's never going to happen.
No, it could happen. I mean, have you seen all the stuff they're porting Skyrim to?
Yes, I have.
It's like the guy at Bethesda just like looks at a new console, it's like, say, that's a nice console you have there. Should be a shame of somewhere to put Skyrim on it.
But we'll be talking about. I think in the next episode we'll talk about Fallout 4 and that the practice that Bethesda's doing with the mods. Talk about mods in general. If they're such a bad thing, or do they add more to a game?
Yeah.
And what does this mean for mod developers in the future? Because to what I've heard is they are bringing in mod developers, but not making them mod developers, but making them actual developers.
Yeah.
Which could be a good thing, but it also means that mods will have to be paid for in the future.
We'll need to see it in. So
yeah, so I think we'll read up more on that and we'll do an episode on that.
So that'll be an episode on that, and in the future we'll attempt more of how I would have made episodes.
Yeah.
So you want to do Resident Evil?
I really want to do Resident Evil.
Hey, we'll do a quick one right now. Actually, okay, how I would have done the Dark Tower. Adapt the first book. There you go. That's how I would have done the Dark Tower.
See, I was going to buy the Dark Tower the other day, but I bought it instead.
Yeah, I bought it as well. I'm like about a quarter through it.
No, so, I haven't started it. It just came this morning.
I'm hoping to get it finished before
before Friday.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, I'm not going to try and see opening day, but I want to try before I go see the new one. So
go see it next weekend when it comes out on the 8th. Go see it, and we'll do an episode on it also.
Cool. So on that note, then
we will see you guys later, and I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yeah. Thanks
for watching.
Roll credits.